Hello. It's day 5. Here I go again, patting myself on the back. 6 p.m. Day 5. Kelsey O'Hagan, you probably, if you pay attention to these, you'd be so proud, because you asked me to do this at a regular time every day, and so here I am again. Even though I don't feel like it, I'm telling you right now, I'm waiting for some pretty energy, some sweet energy to enter the building. It's been a very long day. Hello, I see Stacy. Tell me who else is here. I can't always tell. My eyes aren't the greatest. I see 3. Wow, it's exciting. So how are we? How are we today? It's been, wow, we woke up to probably at least 6 inches of snow. Heavy snow. I had to dig. Hi, Stacy. I had to dig my car out this morning, and it was such a heavy snow. So, man, I went out and did what I had to do, and I came back and I went into hibernation, and I hid for a while. I actually even took a nap for a little while. I listened to my intuition. My intuition was, you know what? Wow, it was almost traumatic this morning getting out and all that. Hi, Christine. So, so I came back and I rested a little bit. I played the bear and I hibernated because I needed it. So I'm working my way back into wakefulness, probably. That's a good way to put it. Hi, Rican. Nice to see you. Thank you for joining me, you guys. So this is our little circle. We're doing a little circle tonight, and we have a good bunch. I think that, you know, the more we do this and the more we share our energy, like I keep saying, every time I do this, we're making these little ripples, and I'm watching these little ripples just keep on, and they're touching lives all the time. And as they touch different lives, they grow bigger and bigger and bigger until we have just a tidal wave of love that's just spreading all across the world. The world. We're not going to stop at just the country. We want the entire world to see healing. We want to see the homeless have homes, and the hungry have food in their bellies, and those that are displaced from fires and lost, and those that have lost loved ones, and all of the stuff that's going on. It's so hard to watch it. I pick up, you know, I look at the news and I'm like, you know, I feel it because I know how difficult this has got to be. Here we're going into a holiday week, and people have lost their homes and they've lost loved ones. So it's a very painful time on the planet. So we're not going to stay in that mode as we gather together. We're going to share some positive energy, some positive vibes. And we just want to just draw it in. I can always feel it when that love starts to enter the building, and the love is definitely starting to enter the building. So we're going to let it build. We're just going to kind of center our energy. That's what I try to do, is kind of center us together. Kind of joining. We've got these golden cords. It doesn't matter how far away you are, we're all connected. And so we're just kind of, I'm letting that energy build for a few minutes. So I wonder how many of you, and I know this question is going to get lots of comments, how many of you have been seeing numbers, triples, you know, for me it's 7s and 8s and 2s and 3s and everything. And I had the coolest experience last night. I was sleeping, and I love it when I can remember my dreams and they say something to me. You know, we have these crazy dreams all the time. And every now and then something really stands out and you're like, oh, I was meant to get that message. So I've been getting all these triple numbers. Every time I look at something, it's like, oh, it's 7-7, 8-8, whatever. And then last night I had this dream, a weird dream, but I was shopping someplace. 3, 4s, and 5s, and 8s too. And I was told that Steve relates to the 8s, so I always feel like whenever I start seeing the 8s, Steve is around. I feel him around all the time anyway, but I feel like he definitely has. Regan, I think that came from you, the 8s. I think that came from your book, the 8s and Steve. So, in my dream, I'm out shopping, and I'm at the cash register, and I'm getting all my stuff rung up, and sure enough, I look up at the total. It comes up in this great big screen right in front of me, the total of my groceries, and it was $77.77. Now tell me that I didn't have some angelic work in that one, that one was given to me just flat out. There's no way to deny it when it was that obvious and it was in dreamland. So then again, I work with numbers. Perfect, Christine. There's so much. I love numerology. It was like numerology is what drew me in all those years ago, when I was like 41, I think. It's what drew me, it really drew me into spirituality. It drew me into, it woke me up. Let's say that. Dan Millman, his book on numerology was like, I picked it up at a library and I ate it up. It was like, wow, everything that I was hearing so related to me in it, and part of me just lit right up. It was like feeding me, and it was just incredible. So I love that you work with numbers, because that's something that's near and dear to me. I just see it everywhere. So breathe it in, guys. Breathe it in. We're just allowing whoever it is that you choose to call on when you're feeling the need for a little assistance. We're calling them in right now. For me, I'm all about the archangels. I'm all about source energy. And I just hit a wave of it, so it's the biggest reason. I used to come on and just allow whatever came through, come through, and it still does sometimes. But these 6 o'clock things that we're doing, I feel like that's where the 7s came from last night. I've been doing it. Today is day 5. I've been doing it every day, really committing myself to this. And what are the 7s? The 7s mean keep it going, keep it going. You're doing something that you're supposed to be doing. You're following our direction here the way that we want you to, something like that. That's the feeling that I get. So keep it going. So I'm going to keep doing this. If one person shows up, or if I sit here and talk all by myself, I believe that either in the live time that we're doing this show, or the time that people watch it afterwards, that there are so many ripples being created. And that's what I'm all about, is creating love on the planet. That's why I was put here. So that's why I stayed here. That's why Steve sticks around. In this holiday season, it seems as if I feel him strongly anyway, but it seems like this week he's been really making himself known. So I'm feeling it. I'm feeling it, you guys. The cord is strong between us. If there's 2 or 3, I always love when we've got 3. I see for sure 2 of you sitting there. So where there's 3, it feels like this strong, like a pyramid. Like we're just this powerhouse of energy right now. So whether you're watching now, or whether you're watching 2 days from now, or 10 years from now, whoever it is that's having a need in your life, or in the news, or the planet itself, we're just going to focus just beautiful energy to go wherever it's needed. I'm just full of it today, so you guys, it's just really radiating. It's a beautiful connection we've got. Regan, I hope you're still here too. Sometimes it's hard. My screen will pop off and say, I've got 2, I've got 3. So we're going to allow that energy going back to California for sure. We want to see some healing in these wildfires and all the damage and all the people that are displaced. So we want it to go to anywhere that it's needed. I was out there shoveling snow today. Hi, Caleb. I was out there shoveling that snow today, and as I'm shoving all this heavy, wet snow off my car, I'm like, I'm asking, can we send some of this to California? Even in snow form, can you imagine if they could have some snow fall over the top of those wildfires? That'd be the end of them. So if we could just turn this around, send it in another direction, I would give it up. Bobby Ann, I think that's you. Nice to see you. Hi, nice to see you. I'm so glad you guys have joined us. There's a beautiful connection tonight. Anyone that's here, to anyone that watches it, and whenever you watch it, I feel it's very, very strong. So let's just share. Just share. Breathe it in. Allow it just to fill you up. So much love. We are so loved and we are so supported, and that's the most important thing that we share out. There's so much love, and that's why we're seeing all this synchronicity. It's like this army of angels that are just throwing numbers all over the place. It's like, just keep encouraging them. Just keep encouraging them. And that's what we do. We get encouraged by these angels, by all of the synchronicity that's all around us that tells us just keep going. Just keep going. You're on your path. You are perfectly on your path. Keep following that path. Keep going. Here's another sign. Here's another symbol. I write about it all the time. This new book that I'm writing talks a lot about the treasure map, really, truly, because man, so many different ways. I see these symbols that turn me in different directions and, let me go this way, let me go that way. And it helps us in so many ways. Before we knew about this stuff, we just walked blindly. We never knew where we were going. We were so confused. When you live fully in the ego, and so much of humanity does, we get so lost and confused all the time, and it's sad, and it's depressing, and it's difficult. Life is so much more difficult until you wake up to the fact that we have so much support. There's so much. They're so close. Caleb was asking me that question as he's writing his book. He keeps asking me questions to explain different things to him. And so he asked me, I will tell him often to ask for help from your angels or your guides or ascended masters, whoever it is that you choose to turn to. And so his question was, he's like, I don't know how much of this I believe in, but if I were to talk to them, who are they? And how do I get them to listen to me? And I said, Caleb, you put your intent on whoever it is that you choose to believe in, because they don't care what you call them. They just want you to call them. They've been there. I related it to a video game for him. He's really into video games. Picture yourself up there in perfect land. Everything's perfect. There's no challenges to your life. It's all just, there's nothing but love. And you're just happy, happy, happy all the time. And you're like, I want to do something that's really going to challenge me. I'm going to create a video game. And so you create this video game for yourself, and it's got all these challenges, and it's really tough. It's a hard video game. And then you're like, okay, I'm going to go into that video game. I'm going to play this. It's going to be so real, and I'm just going to love it, and I'm going to forget everything about who I am. I'm just going to go, and I'm going to play this game, and I'm going to completely immerse myself in it. But before you go, you think, I better take some help with me, just in case I forget something along the way, or I get too lost in the game. I want to take somebody to help me. And so you lay out this plan to take all these different, some people actually come into the game with you, and some kind of stay outside of the game, and they stick around to support you. And that's what we've got around us all the time in reality, is this team of helpers. And so I told him, I said, Caleb, just picture them there. They've been there your whole life. They've been waiting there for you to call on them. And you've been ignoring them. You forgot they were there. And so that doesn't make them any less there. Those people that don't believe, those people that have forgotten that they're still there. They're just waiting. Unfortunately, they've got the rule that they can't help unless you ask for help because you're the boss. So they're just sitting there going, oh, please, if they would just remember we're here, we could help them with this. And so now that more and more of us are remembering that we brought a team of helpers, it's like they're just having a field day. They're like, oh, well, look what we can do. And so they're just putting all these little signs and symbols around all the time for us to say, oh, let me follow that. Or this feeling in your heart of knowing, you just know that you're not all by yourself. That all of our lives I was the loneliest child on the planet. Sincerely, I spent so much time sitting by myself, being sad, being lonely, even in a large family. At school, I had very few friends because I felt so different and alone all the time. Now, there's no more of that. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter how sad I can get or how whatever. It's like all I have to do is remember to ask. Just ask. All I have to do is put my intent. That was the end of my speech to Caleb. He's like, well, how do I ask them to do stuff? I said, Caleb, you just place your intent. You just know what you want. You just ask them. You just say, hey, just like they're your best friend. Just, hey, could you help me sleep tonight? I'm really tired. Could you help me write this book? Could you help me with this bill? Could you help me with this, whatever it is that you've got going on in your life? Could you help me get this job I've been really wanting? They can't help you unless you ask. But they're your best friends. I promise, they're right there on the spot. I always say that Archangel Michael is like on my speed dial. I learned to look to him right after Steve died, and I couldn't sleep. I was like, please give me some help. And I didn't know. I didn't know that I could call. And as soon as I did, it was the first night's sleep I'd gotten in months. It was like immediate. As soon as I asked. And now I really sense him. Now it's like, oh, I know you. For me, they all feel different, and Archangel Michael feels like this powerhouse of protection. It's very beautiful. So that's my message that came through to you guys today. They want you to know, whoever's ever going to watch this, they want you to know that they're there. This is your reminder. You set this up. You are the boss. You ask them to come through with you. They are not somewhere up in the clouds hiding from you. God, source energy, the angels, whoever, they're not someplace else. The reason why you feel that overwhelming love in your chest is because they come from there. They're there. They're right inside of you. You brought them with you. And all you got to do is ask for help. And they just, like that. They're right there. It might not always come through exactly the way you think it should, but help always comes. Just keep your eyes open. You will find it. You will get your treasure map, and you can follow it to the most beautiful, beautiful treasures as long as you're paying attention. That's my story time for you today. Boy, Bobby, you're getting ahead of me, girl. Yes, they are, Christine. Exactly. You work with them always. Yes, we work with these. They don't care what we call them. They go by our energy anyway. They go by our emotions. There's no actual names on the other side. They don't. It's all in this how you're feeling in here. How do you feel? What is your intent on? What are you placing your intent on? Are you placing your intent on reaching out to them? Because if you do, then you will always get a response. It's very, very beautiful. Bobby Ann, I may have been alone, but I had my angels sitting with me, and I'd sing to them. And God, perfect. Perfect. I got that message from somebody. Sharna sent me a message about singing. It's funny. As I get to know my inner child more and more, I want to dance a lot. I'm always wanting to dance these days, and I never danced when I was a kid. I was embarrassed to dance. I never went to school dances. I didn't dance in front of people. I love to sing. I've always loved to sing. There's a lot of singing in my family, and yet I don't sing out loud around people hardly ever. And she sent me a thing yesterday, a video about singing, how good it is for you and how it puts you in contact with your own higher self, there's something about music for me anyway. Music is so powerful. And so the encouragement is even if there's nobody that's really tone deaf, very few, it's just we don't practice that muscle very much. We don't practice our singing voices because we're embarrassed. We don't think we're good enough. We judge ourselves. We're judging ourselves. You know what? It doesn't matter if it sounds good at all. It really doesn't. The effect is there whether you sound good or not. So whether you're singing in your shower, which I now do a lot more of, whether you're singing, a lot of times I get in the car and put music on, and right now since we're doing Christmas a month early, it's all Christmas music, and I am just singing like a crazy woman in the car. I'm by myself, and I'm just enjoying it. Just enjoy it. Dance more, sing more. Let your little child come out, and don't worry about what people think. Don't worry about if they think it's good enough or not, because what the effect that you need to have on yourself comes by letting loose, by letting your little child dance and sing. Look at little kids. They just do it. They don't care what it sounds like. And the more we can be like the little child, the closer we come to God, the closer we come to our true selves. It's true. And the better we get at manifesting our lives, because your little child inside of you has this awesome thing called imagination. And when she or he gets cut loose, this little child starts creating the most beautiful fairy tale life you can ever imagine. You just have to cut her loose. Cut her loose. Get in there. Do some healing until you dig down in and you go in there and you find her and you pull her up in your lap and you love her and you tell her how amazing and how incredible she is, and you give her everything that you didn't get as a child. You just fill her up with. And the more you do that, the happier you become. Don't be afraid all of a sudden you're laying down in the snow and you're making angels and you're making sandcastles and mud pies and you're singing like there's nobody listening and you're dancing like nobody's watching, and life takes off. Life is then so much more beautiful. Let's see if I can catch up to you guys. Bobby Ann singing, always singing, dancing, even at work. I know I can't stop myself these days. I just do it anyway. The kids get so embarrassed, and it's so funny. There's a song, it's Uptown Funk. Oh my gosh. I put it on. It's the worst song ever, and yet every time it plays, I cannot stop dancing. It's really long too, and it's so embarrassing to the kids, and yet I gotta dance to it. And it came on at the Island. We were at the Island in Gatlinburg, Pigeon Forge, and It's where the water is dancing with the song, and that song came on, and I looked at my daughter who's 11, and she looked at me like, "Don't you do it?" And I'm like, "I gotta do it." My poor kids. I danced a little bit. I didn't get up, but I did sit in my chair and dance, and she just kind of turned her head in the other direction. This is fun to be a child. It's fun to have fun. It's good to have fun, and it's necessary to have fun. It's not only good, we need it. Christine, thank you for joining me tonight.